Hey, howdy, hello. Welcome back to another video.
I know some of y'all are like me and wonder, how do people sell on Discogs? How do people find the right way to package it? Does bubble wrap work? It's really confusing. And I've also Googled a whole ton. For keep it fun, we're going to keep it simple. I'll show you every different option. I got a bazillion mailers to make sure it arrives safe and sound through snowstorms, rainstorms, windstorms.
So yeah, I've been shipping records for about a year. I didn't know what I was doing starting out. I didn't know what to use. I didn't know cardboard, bubble wrap. Of course, I received things, and most of it in good condition, most of it without nicks and bumps, most of it without scratches. But when I sent it out, I always thought, what is the absolute best way to do it? I'm going to show you today the best way to do it after I've done this maybe 50 times. I mean, I want to go through everything, every different cardboard option. I want to go through everything from the pre-shipment, how to get it even ready for the box, where to even list it, find someone to buy it, what to actually put it in so that it arrives in the condition that you sent it in, how to even print the label, how to get it out the door safely. Stuffing it with layers and layers of stuff that may or may not work. Let's get rid of all that crap. Let's just do what works. I'm going to set up a little table here. We'll show you the ins and the outs, how to do this the right way. Y'all thought this whole time there was nothing behind this door. Yeah, all this crap was in there. First, you got to clear a nice little zone. I've started packing stuff up on kitchen islands, and then I put the cardboard down. You get butter on the bottom of the box and all this weird stuff. Just set up a nice little table. We'll eliminate all the problems. Great place to start. Today, we will be shipping Bon Iver's Blood Bank, U.S. pressing. Let's talk about something I'm doing pre-shipping before this even goes out. I'm wet cleaning. This is a homebrew recipe. I'll send a link to the website. This is a vinyl rinse. This is distilled or reverse osmosis water with a little surfactant. Spinny record machine that this guy 3D prints in Canada and makes something that's soft for the record. This is just a vinyl record. For support, padded cushioning that won't scratch. Literally a hockey puck mounted to this 3D printed thing. It allows you to spin this and clean. I've shown it in other videos. This part is a magnet. It goes to the underside, attaches to a shop vac. This part is a brush that allows you to wet clean twice, spin this around, dirt and dust gone. It detaches. Record's clean to dry. Give it 5 minutes to air dry, even though it's really clean and ready to play after a vacuum. Maybe hit it with a zero stat. You can look up zero stats. That helps with static. I don't actually have one right now. That really will eliminate static. Wet cleaning eliminates the static. It removes the dust and debris. It allows it to actually penetrate the grooves. Yeah, so we leave it to air dry for 5 minutes. Then we immediately put it on the turntable. We give it a spin. We play test this to make sure it's not just visually what we're grading, but it sounds like what we graded it. And that's called a play grade. That's a big factor for me. It seems a lot to ask to play grade something, right? To literally sit there and listen to every moment of it. Well, I can't help but think of the example where someone did not play test this after I'd asked them, and there happened to be a skip, an unplayable skip. Now I'm stuck with a record that was clean, immaculate, but because he didn't even play it from Vinyl Me Please, he didn't know, he just listened to a couple songs. Now I have a defective record that we can't ship back to Vinyl Me Please and get our money back, it cannot be graded near mint anymore, and we're stuck. Beautiful album. You gotta test it if you want to be 100% sure. Another thing about grading based on condition, if you do sell something as mint, cool. I'm selling this as mint. All I did was take open the shrink and check to see if this is actually what it was and put it right back. According to Goldmine, you can do this with mint record if you're opening to verify. Good to go. And in fact, they'll appreciate that you checked it out beforehand, as opposed to some people who sell color variants or wrong versions and list them as mint and it arrives incorrectly. It's good to double check. Now, if people want it sealed, keep it sealed by all means. But if you're opening to check, it's still mint. You're good to go. No worries at all. So we cleaned the record, we play tested it, we graded it accurately. Great. Wait, but we're not ready for the box. We haven't even found somebody to buy it yet. Where do we list it? How do we get this beautiful record in the hands of somebody who wants it? Let's show you. So let's say you got something, you want to figure out what it is exactly. Well, the first place I would go, if you don't already know, is Discogs. And I would type it in and I would find which King Gizzard variant you got. And a million of them will pop up. No problem. Let's say you got 12 bar brews and there's 12 different versions of it. Well, you find, was it the unofficial, was it the test pressing, the green? Let's say you got the original red version. You click that, red splatter with white. Cool. Looks awesome. Make sure it has everything that it contains. Sure it matches up with the exact one you got. Make sure people are saying good things about it if you're curious. Then you would you'd hit sell. Before you hit sell, it may ask you a few questions to set up your PayPal business account, to link it, to set up correct shipping address and shipping policies before you can hit sell. So let's go ahead and look at shipping policies. Under Discogs, settings, seller, it currently has a place to list your currency, a place to list your shipping policies. I have 3 enabled. Tax information, which, always consult with the right people to figure that part out. But Discogs has tons of information to read about. They have a sales and transactions policy and even some helpful hints, but I kind of found them a little bit technical and annoying. So I hit edit. And what did I do? I set up shipping policy for the United States. The first time you see this, you will hit add. And this is where it gets kind of crazy. You have the entire world. You can even sell to Antarctica. So, you hit the Americas. For us, we're in North America. We're in the US. Great. And in this region, we can offer even free local pickup or free shipping if on a certain price amount. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to add a shipping amount. Now it's going to give you this. We have standard, economy, express. You can call it whatever you want. We're going to call it super deluxe. We know it's the standard rate. Now, this is where you can specify some details. You can specify your business days, not a big deal, but the shipping rates, this is where it gets kind of crazy. So you can do it based on weight, pounds, grams, whatever. Grams. I like to do quantity. I just put one thing. If they buy one record, how much do you want to charge? Okay. Well, ship it, let's say $5. Flat rate. And you can do per each additional. You can get it complicated. Let's just do $5. 1 to 2, $5. You throw them in the same box. No big deal. Kind of like what we're doing today. Now, all right. Then we got 3. What do we want it to be? Well, let's say 8. 3 and up. But let's add one more range. Let's do 3 to 5. We'll say, because that'll be a little bit bigger box, a little bit more cost because of the weight. You may want to do more than that. You may want to do free shipping. I don't know. Let's say 6 plus or 3 to 4. Then we'll say 5 and up. Then we'll just do a default 10 flat rate. We're basically done. And you can do free shipping if you want to say 5. That's what I decided to do. We hit save. You already have a policy for the United States. That's literally the exact one I set up. So we'll just delete it. I also set one up for the UK. I hit the entire world. I hit Europe. I hit Northern. I hit the UK. And I set up a USPS international rate. I Googled the prices. I set it up on the back end of Pirate Ship, yada, yada, yada. Basically, they have this simple export rate on Pirate Ship. That's what you want to look up, simple export rate. And I put in $38 and 3 and up 50. Never had to do it yet, and I put the shipping times there and what it is. And I'm not offering free shipping, of course, because it is so expensive to ship internationally from US. Have that set up. We're done. We hit save. We're able to hit sell. Now we're able to specify the condition. So what's the media condition? Now you cleaned it, you play tested it, cleaned the jacket, you did all that stuff. You specify this based on the grading scale. What grading scale, you may ask? I Googled Goldmine Grading 101. This is a great little article that gives you info. Mint. Absolutely perfect in every way. Near mint. It gives you a description. VG plus or E for excellent. Same thing. VG. G. G plus. VG minus. Poor and fair. And it tells you the value. What percentage to charge. It's so good. So use the Goldmine system to grade. Let's say you kept them great. They're near mint or even mint. Look at that. Use sparingly. Then you put in, a little note. You cleaned it. You play tested it. You play graded it. And you got new inner and outer sleeves. Great. That's what they want to know. You may even specify in the front, hey, this is the red splatter variant. You might even put the year 2012 red splatter variant, just to let people know, hey, this is actually what it's described as. More info they have on it, the more specific and detailed you are in your listing, the better. And look at that, the mint condition, it gives you a suggested price of $311. You can ask for offers right there, and you can set a weight. Cool. Now for me, I always put offers on there because I like to see what people are willing to pay. And I like to charge them a fair price. So maybe let's say it's not mint. Let's say it's a really clean VG Plus. Sounds great. Now you can ask $212, but I'm just going to round it at $199. Just under $200, and I'm going to hit list. But I'm not going to hit list because I don't actually own this. And the lowest it's sold for $225. We don't want any issues. We hit list, and then we see our listing. Let's just show you one I've listed in the past. This happens to be Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, which I'm making a full final shootout video on. This happens to be the European 2002 pressing. So I put in this listing a sealed 02 Sundazed EU pressing. Sleeve bison barcode match. And can send pics. It will come with a new protective inner and outer sleeve, whatever. Set the price. These are drying up. Maybe we say, hey, they're drying up and it's mint condition. Maybe we want to raise it. Maybe we make it $99. Maybe we allow offers this time. We hit save. Make sure everything lines up. Cool. And your storefront, it'll give the buyer some information about where you are, what you take as payment, and ratings. Want to keep it at 100%. Make sure everybody's happy. Have good prices and good options, and that you're responsive and you've clear shipping and all of that. Great. Discogs, wonderful. Also allows you to keep track of your collection and maybe even put in your notes here the exact condition that you got it in, category, and even like a little price or what you paid for it and when you bought it. It's super great. Maybe notes on if there's some clicks toward the middle of something or what you traded it for. Great to know. Allows you to keep track of all that. Click on it and list it for sale if you want to trade. What's the other way you could do it? Well, another great way is the lovely Vinyl Collectors subreddit. You can join this subreddit. You can look for stuff for sale by sorting by for sale. You can hit wanted, looking for things that other people want. And you can do for trade if you're looking to trade for specific, very specific niche things. Hitting the new for sale post, it'll pop up a very blank basic thing that has a for sale on the front. And you also put for sale in the actual, in the title, you can put what you got. You know, maybe you could put the condition, but all that other stuff you can really specify in the listing. This is where you'd put in, maybe I have a copy paste of where you want to put a few things that they say in here is that they require location, shipping price, asking price. Don't put a link to Discogs, don't put a link to the auction, and make sure you PayPal goods and services. Easy peasy, as long as you have that set up in PayPal. And where it's shipping from. Tell them notes on what you want. Tell them that you cleaned it. Tell them that you ship it the right way. Let's say you select it and put in, and that way people can click that and see the value of it. And we'll put up a little bracket, $25. Let's say it's near mint, near mint. Let's say play tested, play graded, clean. You can even say how strict you are or what you played it on. Okay, maybe not. And you make sure that it looks right and you hit post. And then when you're done, you have a listing. If a ton of people will see it, then you'll see this auto mod will tell you how many confirmed trades you have and some information. And then people will start sending comments about chats. And once you get it, you'll tag the vinyl swap bot and their name and put a little note in. Then it adds trade. Very cool. Keeps track of all that for you, and you're set up. Finding a great community of people to sell and buy vinyl to and from. So great. They sent you the information. You send an invoice on PayPal, or they sent you the PayPal goods and services payment. You processed it. Ready to box it up the right way and get it to them in the condition that you have it right now. Let's do it. So we found the buyer for it. Great. Let me show you the first thing I do. Very common record in a very common VG Plus condition. I already took the liberty of putting it in a poly sleeve, both the record and the jacket. Now, let me instead show you what you're probably very familiar with seeing. What are we looking at here? Single open pocket for the jacket to go in. So it's inside that. And then the record, this is actually polylined in the middle, but normally the record comes in a paper sleeve. Now, what happens if most people ship like this. What happens when people ship like this? Well, the record bounces around against this surface, and this is paper. Paper and vinyl create scuffs. Scuffs can create bigger scratches, playback issues, all kinds of problems. We don't want that. Go ahead and take your paper sleeve and just get rid of them. We don't need them no more. I'm actually going to reuse that one because it's polyline. Also, these plastic sleeves, I'm sorry, they rip right open. Yeah, I mean, I did that instantly. We don't need that. Why even waste your time? This company called Vinyl Storage Solutions, I always link them in the bio. They make these. They're crystal clear outer sleeves. One pocket, the other side, another pocket, unsealed or sealed, your choice. Usually these come unsealed, so you can have a choice of if you want the jacket to go in the unsealed part and the record to go in the sealed part, or vice versa. This sealed part will seal off dust. It's form fit, so it'll prevent stuff from bouncing around. That's what you want. So, I've already sealed it up. I actually pre-cleaned the jacket. Now you may ask, if your jacket's super dirty, you got an original 1975 Fleetwood Mac and it's got a bunch of dust and dirt on it. Well, how do you clean it? Well, I've seen a couple ways. This is Sprayway glass cleaner. Get you a bottle of it, it'll last forever. You want to be careful and not go too crazy. Shake it up first. Spray it on the paper towel. And I'll just give it a light touch up. And then I'll have a dry paper towel ready to wipe it right off. Seconds later, dirt's gone. That first nasty stickiness, whatever's on it, gone. Done. Let it dry. Did that with this one. Looks amazing. Front and back, no residue, no weird marks. Even adds a little bit of shine back to it. So great. The record in this second pocket. What we do is we ship records outside the jacket. Why do we also ship them outside the jacket, you may ask? It's very normal for records to go in this pocket. That's the way they come from the factory, in this pocket. But what happens in shipping? It's bouncing around everywhere. What's it creating? Edge wear, spine splits. Not on this one, thankfully. This is weighty, dense. This is beating up against the side, destroying any edges, creating ring wear from the thickness of the vinyl pressing up against. Sometimes they put 2 of these, 3 of these in these sleeves. I've seen trifolds. And it's just putting that pressure. And over time, you're beating up the jacket. So you want to protect it. What we do is we get another pocket. In this pocket, now we have a sealed record or jacket. Here's rule number 1. Thicker is always better. Density and flush support against this is what makes it good. Not bubbles, not padding, none of that. All you need to preserve this is layers upon layers upon layers. Here's a cool trick. Take you a new sleeve. This happens to be a 3mm sleeve, the thickest the Vinyl Storage Solutions sells. I'm actually going to combine them. It's going to feel a little bit tight, but now you have no edges exposed. This is a little bit above and beyond. Well, that's what we do. We go above and beyond. We're thinking about water damage. We're thinking about snow. We're thinking about it hitting other boxes in transit, all of that stuff. Then we'll take this, and we'll actually have the insert in its own in this secondary pocket, which is fine for my purposes. The record in there, resealed. Now when this thing bounces around in transit, we know we have double protection in the sleeve. The inner's in its own thing. It's not going to get beat up. The sleeve looks amazing. Now, if you do put anything in this pocket, let's just show you how to seal it up with a little tape. Get some cheap tape, Scotch tape, whatever you got. This is my cheap tape roll. I'm going to show you up close how to do this. So I've got my little thin piece of tape right here. What I'm going to do is first, got my deluxe audiophile scissors right here. Audiophile. I mean, listen to that sound. Definitely audiophile. We're just going to split it right down the middle. 2 strips. We're going to create a T. Just going to put it straight across the middle. See the T? Now we turn it to a side and take this side part. Just make a loop-de-loop. See it? Yeah, loop-de-loop. Now check this out. Loop-de-loop lever will help lift this open, and this part will seal it shut. Start on one side, go over and around, give it a couple squeezes, and then we have this. Just makes it a little bit easier than doing that. Now this is just touching the plastic. We're making sure that this is not any part of this adhesive tape is in contact with the record, the vinyl itself. We're just touching plastic tape around the edge to plastic jacket. Just good to know. Wow. This is ready to go to a box. Now, what do we put it in? This is something I like to do. You could put this whole thing in another layer, just another plastic layer. That's a little crazy, but if you want, you can even get these cardboard bags that they give you from the store. All the way to the bottom. Fold it over. Check that out. We have another layer of protection. We still need to make sure this is dense and thick. Now, you could use a record bag that you get at a record store. You can use just cardboard sheet fillers and wrap it around and tape it or whatever. But what I would do is either take boxes and cut them into squares. Get out the old X-Acto, cut cardboard, Amazon boxes, whatever you got. Now, these I've actually received from other boxes, so I didn't have to worry about that. Let me give you an example of what not to do. These look great. These single pocket, they say fragile on it. I got this one from overseas, which is a miracle it arrived here overseas in any sort of decent condition. It has one pocket. Sometimes they'll put a couple cardboard squares in there and then throw it in a plane and get it in a boat or whatever. I don't like that. Now, these are great for padding, for layering these on top of each other. This is my suggested method. 2 and 2. 2 on this side, 2 on this side. Now, this might be crazy. You may just want to do 1 and 1. But let's just say this is a really expensive record. We want to make sure it gets there stiff. Now that's really nice and dense. It's got the record in a thing, either that or a plastic sleeve. Now we're getting it ready for a box. Let me find a good example. Here's the basic shape of a record mailer. I happen to use a Lowe's heavy-duty box. Got out my X-Acto knife and cut this. This is a great example of what you can use in combination with one of these thin record mailers that you probably receive your records in. Most people would throw it in that. Think of this as more for beauty. But you, being advanced, you either made your heavy-duty cardboard lift or you took another record mailer and you're ready to make Russian nesting doll, 4 more pieces of cardboard layered together and sealed up. Look at that. Doesn't that look so much better already? Using 2 of these together. I mean, you could just do that and get away with that, right? That would be great. Just take this, stick it in here. Maybe start at one edge, folding that in and taking this record side down, around, over. Tape across here, tape across here, tape in the middle, tape in the middle, maybe some in the corners, and maybe, if you're crazy, taping this edge for waterproofing, this edge for waterproofing, printing your label, waterproof it with tape, you're done. You could be done right now. If you don't have 2 record mailers, or if that seems a little crazy, 2 pieces of cardboard underneath. If you're shipping 2 records, use 1 piece of cardboard here, 1 piece of cardboard here, and the other record. If you're shipping 3 or more, I recommend you move up to a heavy duty. Maybe now, 3 or 4, we're talking about a box like this with a little bit of thickness. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to layer cardboard in between, and you're going to make sure that you have another bag that it goes in so it's not bumping around against the edge. We want it as flush against here. Remember, layers and density creates the padding. I put 2 on the bottom, and I got this layer, and I got another piece of cardboard for the top. That makes me happy. Sometimes I'll tape this down just to make it easier. Let's go ahead and make our mutant. So we're doing Russian nesting dolls. We'll put 1 on top. We're folding this down and around. We're keeping it flush along the way. We have a nice crispy edge. that we're folding this in. Now this was used one time and I just didn't rip this piece off and instead just lifted off the glued part. Now I'm gonna tape this down because we basically have what we need. Oh wait, this is the wrong tape. We're using light duty tape. What is this? It's confusing, right? You can buy their heavy duty or you can find another brand. This is just another brand that says heavy duty. That's what you want. Maybe this isn't as heavy as the Duck brand, but this is so much better than this. Put our roll in the middle, feed it through, take off that little top part. Now we're ready. So we're just starting by getting this going. Keep the tape, keep it level, keep it flush as you can. I'm gonna wrap it around one time. That creates a nice tight block right there. And try to angle it over the connection point. One more time. That cuts off the edge. We have a nice tight first wrap. Go ahead and wrap this bottom edge. Just kind of using the stickiness of the tape. Go across. Wrap it around. One more time. Nice. Disengage. Corner super sharp. Every single one. But I'm analyzing. I'm looking for weak places, looking for weird weaknesses or tears like that, and then I'm gonna cover them up because we basically have this ready to go, except for these little weird spots. I'm going in manually, just cutting off some pieces. Go about halfway across. Cover up this corner. Corners are great places for water and snow and rain, and damage just start to creep in and enter your beautifully wrapped records. Cut another piece. That's great. Now that part's really strong. Here's another perforation that might be a weak spot. I'm not going to worry too much about it. If yours is a little bit weak, you may want to reinforce it. But let's actually aim for these corners. Just kind of tighten them up. Think about it. The corners on the records are places where people grade. It can go from near mint to VG plus sometimes. So we want to make sure every corner is ready for impact and the bumpy road that it may encounter on the way. So you may notice this has a little bit of give to it. For me, that's okay because there's tons of thick density and padding and cardboard. But you can't be too safe with these packages. I'm cutting a piece of tape, I'm covering the middle, and I'm squeezing it in and layering over. Now, that doesn't give it all. Do the same thing to this side that has a little bit of a give as well. Little piece. Heavy duty tape. Squeeze. And set. That looks awesome. We're basically ready for the label now. Remember, heavy duty tape. I've tried this with light duty and it just doesn't hang on. You have to use double layers and all that stuff. I will say this. If you do have light duty tape, I'll tell you what it's great for. Cut off that mess of nonsense with your audiophile scissors. It likes to stick to each other. Thinking, okay, this is ready to go, but this edge, your record may hit some snow, some ice, anything wet, anything that could get in this side here. Go ahead and be safe. Cover this up with some light duty tape. That just creates that weatherproof seal. Little squeeze just to give it that little support. Squeeze the cardboard. Squeeze over the edge. Cut the edge. You're done. Any excess pieces, just give it a little snip. Keep it nice and clean. We've waterproofed the edges. We've sealed the sides. We've reinforced areas that might have needed a little bit more. And we've still made it easy access for when it arrives to be cut open and easily accessible. Now, to get to this point, I've tried everything from double and tripling layers, completely DIYing Lowe's boxes, and sure, these were great, but it costs more in shipping labels because it's heavier and it's really, really hard to cut and get into, which kind of makes it a pain. So if you use that, use it in combination with some of these other lighter tools to make it easy for everybody. Now, maybe you're like, I don't like how this looks. Fix the aesthetics. Well, I got some Scotch heavy duty shipping tape in the brown color. Check this out. Now, I'm peeling out the edge using the built-in cutter, pinching that off. Now, we've covered off that weird mark. We folded it in. We've tucked it around the edges. Now it's gone. That looks really nice. Other cases where I'll use this tape is if my box is really weird and deformed, and I'll just cover any edge that's sticking out that has weird cut marks from where you tried to cut it with your knife and tried to keep it clean, but if you want to keep it even cleaner, just use that tape. Makes it look really aesthetic. One more thing before we do the label, get you some fragile stickers. Super cheap roll. It was like a 500 pack from Uline. Really standard. I'm gonna use two. One for the top, one for the bottom. I like to put mine, you can put it in the middle. You can also picture where your label's gonna be. Mine's gonna be in the corner. Just underneath that label, it'll have the fragile sticker, and I'll tape that. We'll show you that. Then on this back side, you put this however you wanna put it. I just like it right in the middle. We're ready for the label. Woo! Come with me to pirateship.com, my favorite place to print labels. Pirateship.com. We're in. You log in, create an account. Super quick and easy. Take you just a little second. This little thing here is going to show you how to create the label. I already have my account. Already have the payment information that's sent via PayPal. The name, the address. And that's what we're going to plug straight into this. We're going to plug in the dimensions, which will... Ooh, I forgot to measure. Usually it's around 15 or 16 inches by 1 or 2 inches thick. 15. Very cool. 15, 15, 2. We got that info on our head. We also need to weigh it. Let me get my scale. Got the scale. Pounds and ounces here in the US for weight. I'm going to press the hold button so that it tells me the amount because it's covering up. 2 pounds, 0.5 ounces. We couldn't get it out of 2 pounds this time. Totally fine with that. Worth it for the little bit of extra protection. I like to double check the weight just to make sure I got it right. We tear it out again. You can't be too safe with these things. You kind of look under and see 2.06. I think we're good. 15 by 15 by 2, 2 pounds, half an ounce. Got it memorized. Right. This is what it'll look like once you got it in. Your previous labels will pop up here. Obviously, you won't have any if you're making one for the first time. We create a single label. The address that you put in when you signed up will appear here in the ship from zone, so you won't have to worry about that. But if it is wrong, double check that because it's good to have the correct return address, just in case. You have a couple options. So you can hit paste address and copy and paste it straight from PayPal. Or you can go in here manually line by line, make sure it's all good, make sure the zip code is correct, state, city, address, all that good stuff. Sometimes I'll have an apartment number. Don't forget the apartment number. They have a forwarding address or something like that, you know, just make sure you put that in. Everything else is good. Make sure you put the right country in. Now we're putting our dimensions in, which we remembered from memory, 15 by 15 by 2. We also remembered our weight, 2 pounds and half an ounce. We're going to go ahead and give or take a couple ounces because we're going to add a little bit of tape to put the label on and a little piece of paper, but it won't add that much. But I like to be safe. Now, let me show you, check the media mailbox because you're shipping media. If you're not, don't check that. Okay. I've seen a lot of people ship non-media mail stuff like that. I won't get into that debate. Like, I've done it for years. I don't, just be safe. Media, get right. Oh, cool. All right. Now, this is cool because this gives you options. You got media mail, usually the cheapest for shipping records in the US. Why would you do that? And UPS ground, you know, some people do UPS ground. I've heard some shops do it if there's a large quantity, if they need speed, because UPS has better speeds than USPS. Media mail is like third class. If your person specified they wanted a specific way, next day, $50. Fastest, $96. Early Saturday. Holy moly. You're basically dropping it off on a plane. That's where you do that. But I'm just going to do media mail, which is $5. Now, this is a cool part. If you're curious and you just like, hey, what if I was able to get under 2 pounds, 1 pound, 12 ounces, and then you hit get rate. Your rate will change. Check this out. Now your media mail is $4.35. And if you get it under a pound, something else very magical happens. If you do 0, the heck? Oh yeah, $3.65 for media mail. It also gives you an option. Sometimes this is cheaper, sometimes it's not. For a first class package, new option. It's obviously a little more than media mail in this case, but it will get there sooner. Look at that, Tuesday instead of next Friday. Something to think about if you got it under a pound after shipping it the deluxe foolproof way. You probably can't get it under a pound in weight. There are options available for you, so let's go. Media mail, total cost. Set up your PayPal right here. That's the easiest way to do it. Hit buy. Check out how fast this is. Done. There's your tracking number. There's your label. Not harder than that. So we got the tracking number. We're going to copy that. We'll paste that into Discogs. We'll give it to them on PayPal. We'll give it to them on Reddit, wherever they want it. We'll also hit print label. There's your label. You even have an option too if you're printing on the cool little fancy like label sticky thingy. If you're doing the left side, if you're doing 2 labels, if you're printing, I don't know, a 2x7. You can always reprint if something goes wrong and you did something stupid. Yeah, that's what we want right there. Looks great to me. We print, we send it to our printer. I'm gonna run down and grab that and we'll put it on the box. You ready? We got it. Let's head over here. I'm gonna show you that address. Black square that it showed you, the printer thing. You just cut right around that with your scissors. Get as close as you can to the edge. Make it look super clean. Sometimes the tape can go awry, so I go ahead and pre-cut it and just stick it on manually. Nice clean line. Nice clean stick, one sweep. We're gonna go for 3 or 4 columns. Three looks good to me. Fragile stickers on the bottom and the back. Now waterproof the label. I'm proud to say that this is now ready to be dropped off. Treacherous journey that it might encounter, and it'll arrive just in the condition that you sent it. That's what we want. And you did it. We did it together. And I'm proud of you for doing this yourself, for being motivated enough to try to figure it out for yourself, to look into try to doing it the right way. I've now made a giant mess. So I'm gonna go clean that up, go drop this off at post when they open. I'm gonna check tracking to make sure it got there safe and sound, make sure they're happy. Because you're not done as soon as you got the box ready to go. You still gotta check and make sure they got it safely. Leave your buyer good feedback, and take good feedback and criticism on those who are leaving feedback for you as a trader. And keep on grooving your way.